All right. Welcome back to another episode of the City Podcast, episode 114. I am your host, Tony, and I'm here with...
Roman.
And...
Your boy, Eric.
Hate that boy.
Yes, let's continue this month-long Spooktober.
Hey, that's too spooky for you. Spooptober.
You know, I was on Instagram checking out some of the cute Halloween stuff, like the chibi art. And just had the... And then I saw this spider video.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of it. I think it's Icarus or something like that.
Okay.
It's a little animated spider.
Oh, Lucas.
Yeah. That shit is fucking hella cute.
It's adorable.
I was like, God damn it. That's the only cute spider I would be like, okay.
I just like spiders, and I was just fucking... That took it over... That took it to 11.
There's this one video, he's like, please don't kill me. And then the Halloween one, I think, he has a ghost thing. He looks at the mirror, he's like, ooh, scary. He runs. I was like, oh, that's hella cute. That is hella cute.
I mean, just imagine that voice on every spider you see, and you won't be afraid of spiders.
Nah, fuck that. All spiders must burn, except Lucas. Because he's animated.
Because he's not a real spider.
He's not a real spider.
You know what's really spooky? My fucking nuts are so droopy. It's crazy.
Droopy nuts.
Yeah, dude. They
Droopy nuts and loose guts.
Man, it just came to me, cause I've always had a fucking saggy sack. It's just that's what my dad gave me, a saggy sack.
That's what Dad gave me. He gave me small dick and saggy balls.
Yeah, he gave me a chode and a fucking.
That's the real
saggy balls.
Story.
But yeah, man, I hit 30 and fucking.
I just changed.
I hit 30, my fucking balls hit my knees.
I hit 30, my balls hit 60.
I was hanging out with John today for Pokemon Community Day.
Yep.
And one of his homies goes, all right, so what we gonna do next week? And he's like, we'll probably just go get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude goes, with you, we always go get something to eat. And so, dude, we're past 30. That's all we do. It's either chill and play games or go get something to eat.
Pretty much.
Like, our days of doing dumb shit where it's entertaining is done because now everything hurts. And we found out that medical bills are a pitch.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we're done with that.
Yeah, my knee and my hands, my arthritis in my hands, both of them, been fucking me up earlier today. So
Nigga, you just said you had arthritis.
Yeah, I have arthritis in my hands.
Everybody gets to that point. My fucking knees are...
I'm 30 years old. I have fucking the hands of a fucking... And that's the weird thing. I'm not even I'm not even active. I'm not a super manual labor. I'm not a carpenter or anything. But just my hands are fucked.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So, whatever.
My knees are gone, my back's shot, I'm just fucking... And you know what's funny? Because the cold weather brings that, and we're just praying for the longest time for the cold weather to get here. And
then your knees start
Yeah, and then the cold weather gets here, and you're like, oh.
Everything starts locking up.
But you walk outside, and you're like, damn, it feels so good until the wind hits you, and it hurts everything. It's still a good pain.
But you know what? Now that it's a little bit cooler, I can have a hot coffee in the morning. And just drink that up, and it warms me up, baby.
Coffee's the only way to drink is hot.
I mean, I still like iced coffee.
I haven't tried it. I gotta try black iced coffee. See
I don't know
if it tastes good without all that extra sugar and milk and all that shit.
I mean, you can put sugar if you want, but
Yeah, but I mean, not like...
I personally don't like sugar with black coffee. That's all.
Like when I see someone drink iced coffee, it has foam and they add milk and they add all this other flavor.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe it's more like a shake. I was like, all right, but black coffee, the way I drink it, I don't see it with ice. But
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you'll enjoy it. I don't know if that's the best way to enjoy it. But it's really scary. People getting old. So hold on to what little youth you have.
Oh, dude, I know. You know what's scary? The fucking prices for shit are the same.
Okay, now we're just bitching about being old and not having money.
Oh no! I mean, me and you were having this conversation where it was like, it's getting harder to get comics for the other podcasts and video games. I was like, and you're telling me that digital, you have to pay the same price as physical. I was like, that is fucking stupid. You would think digital would be a little bit cheaper because
I mean,
you're not paying for the case and the artwork that comes with the video game and the actual disc. That should save you some money, right?
honestly, a lot of video game developers, and this is something because I do listen to some podcasts revolving around like video games. Developers lose a lot of money by doing the physical copies because these games aren't supposed to be $60 anymore.
What are they? You want to put the price up on the physical copy stuff?
No, like the games are too cheap right now. Like the amount of stuff that you get, like I'm not saying like there's not like the money hungries like all the Activision shit like the Battlefront and all that had a bunch of microtransactions, but that's one of the things that they use to supplement the development of games is that they have to kind of have some sort of microtransaction thing
to cover the
cost of the game because you hire a lot more people to get more modes of something into a game, so.
But still, man, when you're not buying a physical copy of something, be it comics, cards, video games, or anything, I thought it was supposed to be cheaper.
Yes.
Or like subscription-wise.
It is, like, when it comes to video games, the only way that they will get cheaper is if they do away with physical media altogether. Like, you don't have a console, all you have is just like a streaming box, which I mean,
would be considered a console. Just no disc format.
Yeah.
But that means what? No Blu-ray player, no.
Yeah, none of that.
None of that. Well, I mean, the weight and just hands going. You still gotta pay for Hulu, Netflix. You still gotta pay for the monthly subscription for the thing.
It's becoming as expensive, to have like cable or satellite than it is to like keep everything.
It's not. We in this household pay for satellite.
Okay.
Right.
Dish.
And we have the on demand, all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But we couldn't watch the shows we want to watch. We still had to pay for Hulu or Netflix. Take for instance, my mom wanted to see some novella. I go, okay, I'll find it for you on demand. Put it on for her. It's not on demand. It's part of what you could see, but you had to pay extra to get everything, and it says it's probably not even covered.
And you don't have like the DVR where you can record it?
The thing is, she barely told me she wanted to see this.
I
could probably start DVR now. She wanted to watch a couple past episodes.
Okay.
What happens? I go to Hulu. The novela's all there, the whole beginning to end, and she's been binging that. And I was like, then why the hell are we paying for cable?
It's true. I mean, but it just depends on what you're looking for because there's certain things that you won't be able to get, like all the DC shows and stuff like that. That's all moved to that DC Universe app. So that's like its own thing now. So like if you want to watch any of those Arrow shows, they're going to be off of Hulu and all that kind of stuff soon, and it's only going to be on the
DC thing.
Exactly. So it's just going to be just as expensive or more expensive.
TV, I use it for sports. That's about it. Everything now is Hulu covers it.
Yeah.
Or you had to have some other subscription to watch.
Yeah.
Sports is the only thing. Sports and news.
Pretty much. Those are the only things that are keeping like live television.
Which is funny because you could stream sports on.
Twitter. Yeah, on Twitter they have
like Amazon Prime. You get special Thursday coverage of the football game.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, okay. And if in case you didn't see it live Thursday, you have Friday to watch it.
Oh, okay.
But now you have to pay for Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So all this shit starts adding up. Like,
exactly.
Oh, and you still can't watch everything completely.
Nope.
So you still probably have to go find some torrent somewhere.
Yeah.
And now because everybody has a streaming service, shit's starting to get cut up.
Yeah.
Netflix is going to lose all Marvel, and they're like, oh, man, show's been canceled. We all know Disney's going to make a streaming service. And guess what? They're like, oh, man, new season of Luke Cage or Iron Fist is going to be an exclusive for Disney. You want to see your shit come back?
Exactly.
I want to see fucking Iron Fist.
Actually, there was a big hoopla for people that they want Iron Fist to come back, at least for a third season.
Why?
I don't know.
Garbage.
White people like it? I watched it and I was like, that shit
White people love to think they're karate masters.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
Well, almost every master you see in Hollywood is a fucking white person.
And
I train with Master blah 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 blah.
And I know shows like Gotham and Arrow is gonna start getting good because they started introducing better characters.
Whack.
I don't know. I like Ruby Rose's Batwoman.
Whack.
The costume looks cool. I don't
Yeah.
know how she's gonna do with it.
Horrible. She's a horrible actress. She's garbage.
But I can't tell now.
You're not even fucking trying to get in the conversation. It's just like, boo this, boo that.
I'm just saying.
He's
I
the
told
background
Tony. I
blue.
told Tony
Yeah,
like
exactly.
fucking Ruby Rose is. I get it. And she's a hot lesbian. Boo hoo. I don't fucking.
Boo
She,
hoo.
oh fucking woohoo. Whatever, dude.
Well, those are two different things, though.
Nah, nigga, it's the same. Main thing is, whatever. She's not a good actress. That's why in John Wick they gave her no talking parts.
Yeah.
And fucking Triple X, whatever. Come on, it's a Triple X movie. All acting is bad acting, except for Vin Diesel. He's the best. Fucking.
She's a better actress.
Orange is the New Black. She was just a nice piece of ass that was new to the block.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the show, but I'm pretty sure her character sucked balls.
I don't know anything about
She's a
that
decent
show.
actor. I'll give you that she's better than Megan Fox. And I thought Megan Fox was
Look, man, when you're shooting the bottom of the fucking trash can.
There's no way to win then.
Well, fucking, you always had this fucking weird fascination with toe thumbs. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, me and like half of America or full America.
Yeah,
She was pretty.
they're stupid.
Okay, you know what? You are not wrong.
Yeah, man.
I keep seeing I keep looking at Americans. It's like, I kind of want to be Mexican or Canadian now.
I would like to at least visit Canada. I don't think I'm welcome in Canada.
Or no, I want to be Japanese. But you know,
I
it
think
ain't
I'm
gonna
going to
happen.
jump on this. I think I'm going to
Maybe
jump on this.
maybe from like Scotland. Shit, maybe
Actually,
you start naming all these things other than America.
Actually, Scotland and England's doing pretty bad with the Brexit thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, so
Because
Canadian.
London wants to break out from the UN, and they're trying to put a border across, I believe, Ireland, and that's causing big problems because it's a lose-lose situation where Ireland still wants to have their freedom without borders, and half of that country is already pretty fucked up with the radicals, and yeah, it's not looking good for London right now.
Wow, that's a power NPR right there.
That's right. I remember that. Eric he said it, I think, on air a few times, but he's been on his NPR kick, and you know what? I don't know if I like this new Eric.
Hey, that was a smart, actually, semi-smart conversation you could have had with him.
Yeah.
About how.
I mean,
I didn't think those words
he's fuzzy on the details, but I mean, he got the broad strokes, and that's what matters.
I'm pretty sure that's how he listens.
In America, that's all you need: broad strokes. You don't need details.
I'm pretty sure that's how he listens to NPR. Just like he hears the headlines. Like,
Womp.
Put that in my brain.
Well,
It's all womp
that's
womp
what's-
womp womp.
No,
womp.
that's what they keep
Ireland.
playing.
Exactly. When he hears something negative, he chimes in.
Like, oh,
No, I
shit.
mean it just happens to be what they're talking about because for the last 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago, all the story was about fucking Brett Kavanaugh and Christy Blasey Ford fucking the whole rape allegation and whatnot, and then the backlash of that,
Names
and then this past week, it was the pledge for NPR.
Okay.
So they were showing small podcasts, but at the same time, most of the time they were just asking for money. And I was almost gonna give like $10 so I could get a cool coffee cup, but I was just like,
Nice.
because it's like they say it's a Bristol style, purple and blue, and I was like, oh, you got me there.
You got me with the purple.
Yeah.
Around for like broadcast radio. Because I don't know if you listen to the radio at all.
Yeah.
They're starting to have commercials where it's like, this is brought to you by the broadcast union or broadcasters something. And it's like, remember people, if you want to keep listening to this great music or news, remember to support your broadcast, whatever it was. I was like, something has to be, moving where like they're gonna lose everything unless you support your broadcasters.
Probably.
And then this week's main story is the thing going on with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
About that. I forgot the name of the newspaper, but that reporter who went into the consulate in Saudi Arabia and then disappeared, which they think he got murdered by the prince, the crown prince.
Oh, he was decapitated.
Apparently, but then they're saying that he was in a fight with he died of
Natural causes.
no he died from fight wounds, I guess you could call it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got in a fight and then he with the security guard
Mm-hmm.
of the crown prince or Saudi Arabia, one of those guards.
Yeah.
And he died from the the blows that he sustained in there. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a lie.
That's also a thing. Because of that, just bringing into a little signature maneuver corner. The WWE's has the crown jewel. And they were before all that happened. They were saying like, "Oh, it's in Saudi Arabia. Like we're gonna have a big event."
Oh, that's when the return of Shawn Michaels and all that.
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
happened.
And now they're like, "Well, we gotta do it," but they're not like saying any. They're not saying Saudi Arabia. They're just saying like, this
Middle
weekend
East.
will be the crown jewel, WWE's crown jewel, blah blah blah.
Where?
Yeah, but they don't know where, and they're like thinking, since they're now a publicly traded company, like Vince can't just say like we're going, like it has to be with the stockholders. So if the stockholders,
For the protection and safety of everybody.
it's pretty much like they signed a 10-year deal with Saudi Arabia to bring wrestling over there, but there's stipulations, of course, that refer to the law. Like there can't be any Jewish wrestlers that Jewish or women wrestlers are not allowed in the country.
What?
So it's just
You gotta
the
follow Saudi Arabia's rules.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things
I'm
there.
guessing that's why they're gonna give them the crown jewels, and we're getting the women's only pay-per-view.
That's why they did it. Like they did
just
the
to cover all edges.
exactly. They have the WWE Evolution thing.
So people be like, "Oh man, I can't believe you just bent Saudi Arabia's rules and stuff. Where's the women's rights?" Like, all right, we'll give you just a straight pay-per-view for you guys. Enjoy it.
Which is pretty cool because I'm actually looking forward to that one.
I actually want to see that too. I want to see Trish Stratus and Lita fight again.
It's a bad card. it doesn't look. There's
Well,
not.
I mean, I know it's gonna be shit because it's Trish Stratus and Lita against Alexa Bliss and her lesbian lover. I don't know her name. I can't remember her name, but I was just
Mickey
like,
James.
yeah, James.
But hey, I'm down for it.
I mean, yeah, but it's just one of those things where they're saying like, is it going to be there? They're thinking that they're going to back out and they're going to do the crown jewel in the UK instead. But
it's a lot of that. There's a lot of wrestling fans over
They're
but yeah,
they're having a lot of trouble because they were gonna have a conference of some sort where they're starting to build up in Saudi Arabia like a bunch of buildings and stuff like.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are backing out, and the king, technically the king, he's like, "Oh, you could back out, but you're losing out more than we will. Fucking, we could go with anybody."
Yep.
And Saudi Arabia's like, "We got the crude oil, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And good old Rush is there, just like, well, we totally back him up. That guy probably fucking, I don't know, maybe he fell or something down the stairs.
You know who else likes cutting off people's heads?
Fucking Putin.
Russians. Putin.
Oh, man. Maybe that's the double-edged swords of having too much information out there.
And then fucking good old Trump is like, well, it's first he was all like, we're gonna find out what happens. And he's like, well, sometimes things happen, and Saudi Arabia's not that bad.
Shit goes bad sometimes, you know what I mean? Everybody has their night.
Yeah, everybody has that.
I was like, you fucking bitch! You can't even stand up for your people, bro.
Nope.
Man, you gotta stand up for the almighty dollar first.
That's why you gotta vote, people.
You gotta vote.
You gotta vote, or you have no fucking.
You
know what's really scary? Voting.
You know what it is though? I actually think our votes don't mean anything no more. Everything's already controlled and shit. But that's just me and my conspiracy theories and my podcast. I stopped watching the news for that reason. Remember I told you I was getting so angry at the world? But I was like, I don't need to watch the news no more. And I don't want to listen to any kind of political or activist or any informational podcast. So I'll just get angry. But there's so it was actually someone on Joe Rogan who's like, man, you guys actually believe that your vote kind of matters? And he was explaining like all these fucking
If it was Eddie Bravo, that guy's a fucking retard and believes almost any conspiracy. He can kick your ass, but he believes almost every conspiracy.
I forgot what it was, but were there instances in our political journey from where it began to now that a lot of elections have been, all dirty and manipulative and all that. people that actually votes don't really matter all across the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, maybe that's still
still
true.
But then,
I mean, technically, that's what the electoral college is about.
but then again, they're the first people that bitch at like, oh, shit's going wrong with America and blah blah blah. But they don't do anything about it. Like,
See, that's why
at least fucking vote. At least like. Maybe it doesn't matter, but maybe it does. You honestly don't know because you're just listening to conspiracy theories. And guess what? Fucking 9 times out of 10, conspiracy theories are full of shit and they're meaningless.
Yeah.
They're meant to scare the public.
Exactly.
And kind of like wean them off fucking.
Mm-hmm.
That's how my neutrality is. Like, if I'm gonna vote, cool. Be like, just vote.
Yeah.
Maybe your vote does change.
Yeah.
But if I'm not gonna vote, I'm just gonna shut up about it. Don't
Yeah.
bitch. Don't whine. Don't complain. Because you did nothing to change.
Exactly.
Just because you already had it inside your head. Oh, I'm not gonna change anything. So why even try? So I was like, that's either the choices I have. Go vote but just say, okay, I voted. Be done with it.
That's what Eric do, baby.
Or don't vote and just shut up about it.
I don't vote and I just don't care.
Whatever our political world becomes, hey, it's gonna happen.
It ain't gonna affect you that much.
Unless we become a rebellion and we create a rebellion and try to overthrow whatever
Mad Max
happens,
style,
right?
baby.
Nah, I don't think you can do it.
But then, it'll be like Civil War and we don't have enough power to do that, so.
Yeah, shit.
Meanwhile, we right here, the keyboard warrior and the podcast warrior, let's just air out our shit,
Yeah.
No. That's the real scary news.
No, it's real spoopy life.
But yeah. Back to the
I'm
original
about that
conversation.
spoop life.
Digital stuff's supposed to be cheaper. That's just my train of thought.
It's supposed to be, but it takes a lot for it to become fully.
Or I just wish there was just like one streaming fucking outlet. Say you pay a little bit more than everything else, but you get everything.
It's called cable.
You know what that is? That's called cable.
But you can get everything on cable.
Yeah, you do. You
On
just
cable,
don't
you
have it at
can't-
times.
On cable, you
That's
can't
the time you
get
want to.
Daredevil. You can't get Punisher. You can't get
Then get Netflix.
You can't get the anime stuff.
Then get Netflix.
You can't get all the anime on Netflix either.
Okay, well then get Netflix and Crunchyroll.
Alright.
Crunchyroll's no, just get Netflix and Funimation.
Okay, well,
Crunchyroll's gonna lose Funimation, so that's about half. No, about 3/4 of the fucking its media,
There you
because
go.
And
Crunchyroll
these-
has Funimation, and almost everything's, if it's not Funimation, then it's Kodayashi or I don't even think Viz Media is anymore.
Yeah,
It's
this
Kodayashi, Viz Media, and
Milky.
Kandeshi. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot the other one.
The thing is, shows are starting to get a lot better for the ones that go directly to the streaming service. Like Amazon Prime has a really good show I've been wanting to watch. I was like, I'm gonna ask someone for that on Prime.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to do that. But then Hulu got an exclusive show. Which one was it? I was like, oh man, this is really good.
Is it about pirates?
It's all about pirates. And then you have, you had Netflix exclusive like Daredevil, Punisher,
Yeah.
Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, which those are gonna be now Disney exclusives.
Hell yeah, Disney knows what's up.
There's not one thing where you could watch all that. Even if I had to pay the cable prices of like $100 to watch all that, I would be down for that. But you can't. You probably won't.
Yeah.
Even though they said that entertainment is controlled by 3 companies now.
It was 5. Now it's 4.
It's 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that they were saying that one that Disney is run by Disney that was gonna buy someone off. It's only gonna be 3 now. I was like,
Well, there you go. You'll have everything on Disney.
Yeah, dude.
yeah. Well, I was gonna pay for the Disney subscription.
Yeah, no, you were.
I just want to see all the old cool
But
shows.
you're
and
just
movies.
like, that's the thing, man. You're bitching about it, but you're gonna pay it because you're a slave to all this shit that you watch.
Not true.
Like,
I mean, it's just because I don't want to do the torrent stuff. I don't want to do the bootleg stuff.
And you want to be a pirate, you pussy. Can't even steal fucking
you
shows.
can't even pirate fucking.
Yeah, look at you. Fucking Blackbeard would be ashamed of you.
No, alright. Before that, I always said that if you want something to continue, support it.
Yeah.
Hell no, steal it.
If TV's networks and shit are not watching those numbers rise on
Mm-hmm.
viewership
Mm-hmm.
because you're bootlegging it or touring it.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna cut your show, and then you'll be like, "Oh, there goes the show I like."
No,
Yeah.
well, fucking
Must
find
because I
something else.
wanted to be a digital pirate. Come on.
I'm just saying, don't watch TV. You'll be okay.
Read a book.
Oh, I've been reading a book. That's what I've been doing.
Uh,
The last.
I ain't gonna read, but you know you can read, you can read a
The
book.
last 2 weeks, I've been reading books and manga. Actual, like hard manga, not the digital manga.
oh, okay. You're not pirating your manga.
I am.
I-
Fuck everybody else.
I know you are.
Actually,
You're a real pirate.
Hell yeah, dog.
Butt pirate.
Hell yeah.
Man butt pirate.
Fucking whatever is a hole's a hole. You know what I'm saying?
And the high sea a hole's a hole.
Yeah.
Yar.
I see London. I see France.
You fucked it up.
I see. I want to get to that booty.
I see London. I see a Frenchman's ass.
I see London. I see France. I see someone's
Fucking
dropping their
dick.
pants.
Oh my god. Show me that dick.
Fuck.
God, this went from 0 to 100.
That's how it happens in the pirate life.
Oh, yeah, like, I've been listening to Audible, and I've been like, fuck. Because I've been listening to another... I finished the Harry Potter books.
All of them?
All of them.
Yeah, so you ready to watch the fucking
Yeah,
Deathly Hallows?
I'm ready to watch the Deathly Hallows.
Oh my god, date night.
Hey, and it's fucking coming up. Maybe I'll watch it on Halloween. I'll watch both of them back to back.
You know what I'm trying to see? I'm trying to see if YouTube has any videos, because I really kind of want to go to that Potted Potter.
Uh-huh.
And just to
Oh,
see
you just
how...
want to see, like, if it's worth the money.
Yeah.
Hey,
Kinda like
Groupon
a-
actually has a coupon for it, and it's like 34% off or something like
So
that.
all I'm saying is, let's go.
Possibly. It's only like for 5 days or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it's what, all 7 books in less than an hour?
Yeah, it's like
70 minutes
seven
or something?
books in 90 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
That
finished
sounds
all of them,
doable.
and now I'm starting like, it's a Warhammer fantasy book. And I've actually been going through that so much so that like I've like kind of neglected podcasts and not wanting to listen to a bunch of podcasts that I used to. And I've
Everything
been
goes through its times.
yeah, exactly. So I've just been listening to Audible and Spotify. I've been listening to a bunch of music too. So
Did
the
you have
music
anything
bug
planned
is
for Halloween for next weekend?
no, not really.
I'm guessing you're gonna be working.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working, and Halloween is on a Wednesday, so it's like, that's my Friday essentially, and then I'll have 2 days off. So I'll be like,
I don't know if I'm gonna do anything for
but
Halloween this year.
fucking guess what? I cleaned up my room. I fucking moved it around. I now have a fucking space for my little Christmas tree. So guess what? November 1st, that bitch going up. I'm respecting Halloween because I like Halloween.
But nobody gives a fuck about Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is just a gluttonous holiday. That's all it is.
You're gonna be like those fucking activists on Facebook. Is like
Not at all.
Thanksgiving shouldn't be there because
No,
they killed all the.
Not at all. I look.
Oh, I like
Indigenous people.
Thanksgiving. I don't give a fuck about the
Look,
Indians genocide.
The
It
history.
happened.
The history is history.
Yeah.
Like I can't do anything about fucking them giving Indian smallpox blankets. I can't do anything about that. But what I can do.
Everybody knows. Never
is-
trust a fucking... Well, you know what you learn from there? Don't trust white people and their dirty ass sheets.
Don't trust Whitey.
Oh man, speaking of sheets, I just fucking changed mine. They're fucking awesome. Guess what color they are? They're red. My room is green. So there you go.
You're a real piece of shit.
You're a real
He's
piece
a
of work
Christmas
for the
pirate.
Yeah, I'm a real fucking Christmas butt pirate.
Let
But
me
yeah,
see that
no,
ding,
like
ding,
look,
ding-a-ling.
I like Halloween. I really do. I just don't like celebrate it like everybody else does. I
Like
don't
a
get
horror.
fucking drunk and like go party and all that. I'm just fucking done with it.
Yeah,
Are you
used
gonna
to.
But-
go to a haunted house with John?
Oh, is that what's happening?
No.
He says he wants to do that, but actually, you know what? Homeboy at work told me he won 4 tickets to the 13th floor.
Ooh.
He's like, "You want them?" I was like, "Do I have to pay?" He's like, "No, fucking, I want them." So
I'm scared.
he's like, "I ain't gonna go," and I was like, "Dude, you should go. Fucking, you know how much punani you can fucking molest."
Whoa.
October.
You know it's really spooky, rape.
Getting away with it.
But anyway, I cut you off. You were saying that you don't celebrate Halloween the traditional way.
Yeah, I don't celebrate it the traditional way. I just kind of you know, I'm usually at work, but even when it's on a day off or something like that, I just kind of see my nieces, and if they want to go trick or treating around the neighborhood, I'll go take them and that kind of stuff.
It's
but
not
like
safe anymore to go trick or treating around our
with
neighborhoods.
with me, it is.
My other coworker told me that her neighborhood over there in Nogalitos gets packed and it's super safe and everybody has fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just old and you know, I appreciate the sluts though. All you sluts out there, I love
Yeah,
you.
you.
Don't worry about it, baby.
That's how
I
you
don't know.
celebrate fucking Halloween by double tapping all the sluts. Pictures.
All the sluts that put up pictures on Halloween, you getting a like. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, anything.
You're like,
I'm not sure how you made a sexy tampon, but hey, you work it, girl.
You fucking work it. Is it bloody? You know it is. It's fucking super Halloweeny.
Yeah.
You know what else is Halloweeny? This fucking
Halloween.
dick. You missed the pun. Shut the fuck up and suck it.
I think that's how I'm gonna celebrate Halloween. Here, just watch a whole bunch of scary shit.
Yeah.
Or not even scary shit. We watch like Hocus Pocus.
Man, I'm fucking
Halloween Town and all the fucking cartoons I want. Like
I'm
that.
actually upset with John. He went to go see fucking Halloween. 3 times I tried to go watch that fucking movie with
Why
somebody.
didn't you just go?
Michael Myers.
Huh?
Why didn't you go with the
Because it's always good to fucking go with friends, man. This is
I agree. I won't go to a movie by myself.
Exactly.
See, I'm the other opposite. I would go with a movie for myself so I could enjoy it more.
No, I enjoy it with people because then if it ends up sucking, boom, you can criticize it right then and
Oh
there.
yeah, you just make fun of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as soon as fucking November 1st hits, on fucking midnight, I'm fucking putting up that damn tree.
I can see him. He's looking at his watch, counting down the minutes, and fucking he has his hand at the plug.
What? You gonna put up the tree on Dia de los Muertos, bro?
Yeah,
You're not even gonna put out no candy?
Nah.
You're not gonna cocoa it, bro?
Nah.
Or you do cocoa it because Coco didn't like it. And he's like, I want to be part of the family.
Everybody that I miss and love, I tell them whenever
they'll be right there in the fucking Christmas tree.
whenever I think of somebody that passed away and I love, I always say I love you, I miss you. I just say it out loud. That's all I do.
Yeah, but then he's like,
well, let me put this fucking tree up real quick.
Oh, but yeah, nobody's gonna enter my mind on that day.
But he loves more and misses more Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a tree.
Hell yeah.
Offerings to the Christmas god.
And then Thanksgiving, honestly, it's just a day to spend. It's just another. It's like a prequel to Christmas. That's all it is. I mean, we eat the same way. We eat, a big meal. See my family, spend a little time with them, watch a movie or something. And then it's just the same thing. I don't do Black Friday or anything like that, so it doesn't really matter.
Happy Festivus.
You know what? I might do a Black Friday because I think I have the day off.
You might do a Black Friday?
Shit,
I might do an Asian Wednesday.
What would you be shopping for though?
A Swedish Monday.
Depends. Most likely like my dad. No, like my dad.
Oh, that's right. You're Christmas shopping already.
Yes, I already have. I was telling Tony earlier that I already have Tony's present ordered. I have Eric's present. I think is on the way, and I have already Julie's present. And then there's going to be a few other presents that I'll probably get next week.
And then my answer to all that was like, damn nigga, it's October. Calm as shit.
And my rebuttal was, I don't want to be getting fucking 16 gifts at the end of December, fucking stressing about it.
And then be like, there goes all my paycheck.
Exactly. I just want to kind of spread it out evenly. Yeah, exactly. I want to fucking spread that shit. I want to... fuck. Or what's that meme? It's that Riley Reid. So fuck yeah, spread it. That's me in Christmas cheer. But yeah.
God damn, you even made Christmas cheer perverted.
Oh dude, there's a you can type in Lisa Ann Christmas and you'll get a good porno centered around Mrs. Claus and anal. If you like that.
Lisa Ann's just one of the hottest
MILFs
stars there. Yeah, MILF. I don't know if she is a mom. She probably is. I wouldn't doubt it. But
I don't think she is, but she's old enough.
Yeah, she fits the genre real good. She does the genre proud.
She looks like a real mom.
And like a real fucking slut mom.
Anyways, this is getting weird. So Roman, it's time for the spooky.
You know, it's really spooky.
You know,
Let's
spooky,
get to
funny,
your-
not that moms are fucking hot.
This is one of my favorite urban legends. I didn't know it was I knew it was fake. I just didn't think it constituted an urban legend until I found it on thoughtsco.com. I won't give you the title, but I will start reading. The story goes that towards the end of the 1940s, Soviet researchers sealed five prison inmates in an airtight chamber and dosed them with an experimental supplement gas to test the effects of prolonged sleep deprivation. Their behavior was observed via two-way mirrors and their conversations monitored electronically. They were promised their freedom if they could go without sleep for 30 days. So, the Russian sleep experiment. The first few days passed uneventfully. By the fifth day, however, the subjects began to show signs of stress and were overheard bemoaning their circumstances. They stopped conversing with their fellow inmates, choosing instead to whisper compromising information about one another into the microphone, apparently in efforts to win the favor of the researchers. Paranoia set in. On the ninth day, the screaming began. First one subject, then another, was observed running around the chamber screaming for hours on end. Equally disconcerted with the behavior of the... Siri popped up for some reason. Spooky.
Oh, she's getting real fucking wet.
Yeah, equally disconcerted with the behavior of the quieter subjects, she began ripping apart the books they'd been given to read, smearing the pages with feces, and plastering them over the mirrored windows so the actions could no longer be observed. Then, just as suddenly, the screaming stopped. The subjects ceased communicating altogether. 3 days passed without a sound from inside the chamber. Fearing the worst, the researchers addressed them via the intercom. "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones," they said. "Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." A voice from inside answered, "We no longer want to be freed." 2 more days passed without contact of any kind as the scientists debated what to do next. Finally, they decided to terminate the experiment. At midnight on the 15th day, the stimulant gas was flushed from the chamber and replaced with fresh air in preparation for the subjects' release. Far from being pleased with the prospect of leaving, the subjects began screaming as if in fear for their lives. They begged to have the gas turned back on. Instead, researchers unsealed the door to the chamber and sent armed soldiers inside to retrieve them. Nothing could have prepared them for the carnage they witnessed upon entering. Impact on the subjects. One subject was found dead, lying face down in 6 inches of bloody water. Chunks of his flesh had begun to tore off and stuffed into the floor drain. All of the subjects had been severely mutilated. In fact, even worse, the wounds appeared to be self-inflicted. They had ripped open their own abdomens and disemboweled themselves with their bare hands. Some had even eaten their own flesh. The 4 who were still alive seemed terrified of falling asleep and refused to leave the chamber. Again pleaded with the researchers to turn the gas back on. When the soldiers attempted to remove the inmates by force, they fought back so ferociously they couldn't believe their eyes. One suffered a ruptured spleen and lost so much blood there was literally nothing left for his heart to pump. Yet continued flailing for a full 3 minutes until his lifeless body collapsed. The remaining subjects were restrained and transported to a medical facility for treatment. The first to be operated on fought so ferociously against being anesthetized that he tore muscles and broke bones during the struggle. As soon as the anesthetic took effect, his heart stopped and he died. The rest underwent surgery without sedation. Far from feeling any pain, however, they laughed hysterically on the operating table. So hysterically that the doctors, perhaps fearing for their own sanity, administered a paralytic agent to immobilize them. After surgery, the survivors were asked why they had mutilated themselves and why they desperately wanted to go back to the stimulant gas. I keep fucking that word up. Each in turn gave the
Should have
same
practiced.
enigmatic answer. I must remain awake. The researchers considered euthanizing them to obliterate every trace of the failed experiment, but were overruled by their commanding officer, who offered that it be resumed immediately. With three of the researchers joining the inmates in the sealed chamber, horrified, the chief researcher pulled out a pistol and shot the commanding officer point blank. He then turned and shot one of the two surviving subjects. Aiming his gun at the last one left alive, he asked, "What are you? I must know." Learning something new every day. Well, that's not part of it. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject said, grinning. We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are where you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven when we cannot tread. The researcher fired a bullet into his heart. The EEG monitor flatlined and the subject murmured these last words, "So nearly free." Analysis and research check. It's a given that human beings require a certain amount of sleep on a regular basis in order for our minds and bodies to function properly. Anyone who has experimented at night or two or three of insomnia knows how critical even a few hours refreshing sleep can be to one's health and well-being. What would happen if we went 15 or more days without the natural downtime virtually every sentient creature requires? Would we fall apart mentally and physically? Would we go insane? Would we die? It's a question like these that the Russian sleep experiment was supposedly designed to answer, with the horrifying catastrophic results reported above. Now for a dose of reality gas. No such experiment took place. While the premise that while the premise that keeping a group of people awake for 15 days straight would end in a cannibalistic bloodbath makes for a gripping fictional horror story, it's not born out of specific evidence. The so-called Russian sleep experiment, never took place, although other creepy experiments did. In point of fact, no human experiment of the type and duration described have ever been conducted. None that have been made public, at any rate. Though we do have the results of the 1964 high school science fair project, in which the effects of prolonged sleep deprivation were monitored by a bona fide sleep researcher from Stanford University and a professor of psychiatric there you go, psychiatric. Thank you. Neuropsychiatric medicine. By default, it has come to be considered one of the seminal studies in the field. The world record is 11 days without sleep. Randy Gardner, a student of Point Loma High School in San Diego, California, went without sleep for 11 days in a bid for the Guinness World Record for continuous wakefulness. He suffered bouts of dizziness, memory loss, slurred speech, hallucinations, and even paranoia over the course of 264-hour experiment. But at no time did he exhibit anything resembling the extreme behaviors allegedly observed by the Russian researchers. Gardner reportedly slept for 14 hours straight when the project was over and awoke feeling rested and alert. He suffered no lasting ill effects. When Gardner did, in fact, beat the existing benchmark for days gone without sleep, his feat was never actually listed in the Guinness Book of World Records because he missed the submission deadline.
Oh, that sucks.
The most recent title holder in that category before Guinness retired it for fear of encouraging risky behavior, that is, was Maureen Weston of Cambridgeshire, England, who stayed awake for 18 days and 17 hours during a rocking chair marathon in 1977. She neither ripped open her own abdomen nor ate her own flesh. Miss Weston holds the Guinness World Record for sleep deprivation to this day. a word about creepypasta. The Russian sleep experiment is an example of creepypasta, an internet nickname for frightening images and historical horror stories that circulate virally online. The oldest version we found was posted to the Creepypasta wiki on August 10th, 2010, by a user calling him or herself Orange Soda. The original author is listed as unknown. So there you go. That was my favorite urban legend, even though I didn't think it was an urban legend specifically.
It's more of a conspiracy than an urban legend. I like it though.
I mean,
but I think what plays a key factor between the Guinness World Record and the lady in the rocking chair is the gas. I guess they didn't put that.
There is no gas.
No,
in either one.
No,
for the rocking chair or the Guinness World Record.
Exactly. That's why they didn't rip out their bowels and didn't go cannibalistic or crazy. I'm guessing the gas had to have something that messes with your mind to put on that trip.
What, like an adrenaline?
Something that there's something in the gas to keep people awake. So I'm guessing that chemical will mess with people's mind, and that chemical alone would trigger, that animalistic or that bestiality of people.
Bestiality is totally something different.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, that bestial thing in people.
So, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of experiments out there.
And it says in that if you go to
thoughtsco.com, done by the good old Germans.
Yeah, it was. But a lot of those ended up improving new modern medical science. So
I mean, medicine alone is a dark alley to go into.
Yeah, there's a lot
of stuff you have to do. That seems gray area.
You have to take the Hippocratic Oath. No, not the Hippocratic Oath. It's I just saw it in Venom. It's was it the Hippocratic Oath?
What?
It starts with a P, I believe, where you have to take into mind when you're doing anything for science in this name of science, how far to push the envelope and what's too far and seems inhuman to do.
See, that's the thing, though. Sometimes going too far is how you find the cures that need to be found.
Yeah.
You have to push the limits, and it's gray area. It's gray area at best, depending on who you ask. Because you end up
as long as you get results, I guess.
Sometimes the cure you're looking for ends up making a bigger monster that you can't possibly handle.
Yeah, I mean, there's
with chemicals and people's minds is horrible, man.
Yeah.
So
we have a natural
curiosity.
Yeah, we have a natural curiosity for that, but we also have.
See, your story is not very supernatural, but still frightening shit because it could be a reality.
Exactly, and I like the that's where I heard it was creepypasta, and that's why I was like, I don't know if it's necessarily urban legend. That's why I didn't relate it to that, but when I read it, I was like, oh, it's fucking super creepy. I like that, so that was probably one of my favorites.
What helped was the way it was shown, because it was they showed like a screen, right, and it was like a old mental health hospital. And then the guy's voice was real calm, smooth, slow, and wasn't fucking up on simulant.
Yeah, exactly.
And
not simulant, stimulant.
Stimulant. See, he fucked it up.
Yeah.
That's how ghouls and zombies get created, man.
Yes, but one of the things I know that around this time last year on Amazon Prime, there is a podcast called Lore. And it does deal with like a lot of creepy stuff like that. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's a really good podcast. But they also turned it into a show where they did like reenactments with a bunch of actors and famous actors with that. And they did a few episodes for Amazon Prime. I remember when it first came out that it looked really interesting, but me being me not watching a lot of stuff, I didn't watch it. But I know I got good reviews. Like I know that a lot of people did like it. So yeah, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already.
I found out what creepypasta actually means. It's supposed to be not an acronym, but a pseudonym, where it's supposed to be copy paste. They just kind of put it together because it's macro, so people would be like, oh man, just macro fucking copy paste, and then you say it fast enough, it sounds creepy pasta.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Fair enough. The more you know. NPR paying off.
What was it?
Oh no, that's because I was looking up for a story for this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I was bored at work, so I just put up on while
Sad,
people
sad
were
and
coming. I was
scary
like,
stuff.
Google. Yeah, I was like, Smile Dog, and that one's kind of not creepy, but I was like, I mean, I could go further, but then I was just like, ooh, I'm getting shivers at work.
There was a circus. I think a circus or one of those. What are they called?
Freak shows.
The freak shows. That they said they had an actual ghoul and a zombie part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, that's creepy. Some stuff, man, some stuff can be real, and maybe a Russian experiment made people go crazy. Who in the hell knows?
Oh, you know what? You know what else
Maybe.
was semi-real? Was this one story of this couple coming back from a date, and they were going through kind of like the countryside, and they noticed a car with its hazard lights on and the headlights on too, right? And it was just there, and then you see as they were getting closer, you know, they had their windows up, and they were just like, "Oh man, should we stop?" Because you could see like in the shadows, or from just outside the reach of their headlights, that there was stuff on the ground, and as they're going closer, they see that it's a couple, and they're laid out, and there was like a suitcase, and there was clothes just like thrown. The contents were open and thrown out. And they were like, "Oh man!" This is at the time before cell phones, so they were just like,
If we don't
"Should we stop?
Yeah.
You know, we should stop and see what happens. See if we could help them. Maybe they're still alive. You know." But as they were getting closer and closer, the lady goes, "Don't stop, keep going." And the guy's like, "Why?" She's like, "Just don't stop, keep going," because she noticed that everything was set up, you know, kind of too perfectly. Like everything was really laid out.
Yeah.
And then the people that were unconscious had their eyes open. And then from the tall grass right next to it, she saw glowing eyes there. And she was like, "Oh, fuck." So they took off. And in the rearview mirror, they noticed that the glowing eyes came out. And it was like 4 or 5 people, and the people that were laid down on the ground were standing up too, and they just kind of stared at them as they drove away. And it was based off of like small incidents where people were going missing in countryside roads that had no, you know, telephone lights or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's where that urban legend came around, and I was just like,
Don't stop and help no one in the middle of the
I was
night,
like,
guys.
good thing I don't help anybody unless they look attractive and they're down to fuck.
And he turned that weird and creepy.
You gotta keep it creepy, baby, but you also gotta keep it creepy.
The only, I mean, I don't stop for anybody, to be honest with you, but I mean, the only way that I would is if it's like an actual accident. Like I see the accident happen, I'm like, oh shit! Like I should probably try to see if I could do anything there.
Which is also a double-edged sword, because you can, but they could maybe sue.
Oh yeah, like I'm not like going to like it's not like I know
You
you're
know
not
what's really
supposed to like
creepy?
move
Lawsuits.
Ooh.
Being in debt forever.
Getting garnished wages to pay somebody's fucking stupid fuck people that just sue without probable cause. But yeah, like I wouldn't unless I see like the accident happen and I see that, you know, oh shit, I gotta do something. That's the only way. And it's the same thing at work. If there's like a fire, like if I see like a fire coming out of a car or something, I have a fire extinguisher there, so I'm supposed to.
You're supposed to try and put it down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So.
But you know what? You know what's not crazy? Getting to some comments.
Oh, I will say this before we get into comments because we have a fuckload of comments.
Oh, sweet.
But I will say this. There is one place that I was like I would always dread because it was always like a very it was like a backwater kind of way or back road. It's a city. Yeah, it's a delivery because there is a small town, probably about
in the middle of nowhere.
I'd maybe say about 30 miles outside Austin. It's called Smithville. Ooh, everything's fucking super dark out there. And then once you deliver, you have to go like these back ways, and it takes you through the historical, like their downtown, like historic, and it's like literally a block. It's a block, and then you see your 4-way stop. And then you turn, but the way to get back is you can go back the way you came, but it just takes longer because you have to go back up that route, up that road until you hit 35, and then go back to San Antonio. Well, the easier way was that you take all these backcountry roads so that you can get back to 10, and it kicks you out on 10, probably about 2 hours outside of San Antonio. So, just like going out there is super creepy because there's a bunch of big acres, and like you see like these small houses in the distance because it's all ranching out there. And one time, almost hit a deer out there. So just started out of nowhere.
Fuck you, deer! I stopping.
Oh, dude, like I would constantly fucking like. You have to like keep your high beams, so that you can actually see. And then you see a car coming at you, low them down. So once you pass them, and it's just like a big process, but it's just super dark, and there's that creep factor, like if I break down here, I'm fucked.
I know. I always got creeped out when I'd go to Mexico with the family, and you see like houses, and mom's like, "That's a bruja," and I was like, "That's fucked up. Why would you tell me this?" I was like, "We in the car," so I'd hide in the bottom of the fucking seats. When I used to
nobody gonna see my ass.
You put on your headphones. You're like, "Nope, they ain't hear nothing."
You put on some happy music.
That's why I would
sugar.
Do. Oh my god, I'm gonna get raped to this.
That's why I would, go the long way. Fuck the back roads.
Which hit up on the comments if you want to go watch Halloween with me if you haven't seen it yet.
I'm so lonely.
Please. You know what's really spooky? Loneliness.
It's true. It hits you. It hits you at the darkest moment.
That's the most terrifying of
all. The
all.
spookiest thing is that you're like, hey man, that toothless hooker's looking pretty cool.
She's looking pretty tasty.
She's looking pretty inviting. For $20.
But as Eric mentioned, you can put down in the comments at youtube.com/Grimworks on the newest episode of C.I.T.Y whenever you listen to it.
C.I.T.Y and hi to the new subscribers. Those two.
I think that's true, yeah.
But hey, welcome.
They're like, there's a podcast of this shit.
He's like, we came for Warhammer. We're talking about creepy information.
Yeah, we gotta get back. I gotta get back on Perils. My bad.
You can always join our social media too. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just the Talk Grimworks, and drop a comment there about anything. Anything. Hey, tell us your more creepy. You know what? That's a good question.
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite Halloween creepy story? I know everybody has one. I know like our urban legend, the Llorona, is getting made to a movie now.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Yeah,
it looks so bad.
Hell yeah!
But now you could go the old school way and drop.
I like that meme. This movie better be scary. My mom's been hyping this bitch up since I was a kid.
Well, if you want to send us an email about La Llorona, you can go ahead and send it to citypod88@gmail.com. Eric.
Citypod88@gmail.com.
All right. So we have 2 commenters. I think it's long overdue for the keeping it regs with the Peru.
He's back, ladies.
He's back. And you're not gonna like his first comment.
From outer space.
His first comment: Hocus Pocus is garbage.
Why do you like hurting me, Prune?
I missed you, Prune.
Yeah, I missed you too, man. Oh, though I did speak to him recently, and I was like, I strive to be like you every day. He's like, you can do so much better. You just gotta fucking believe in yourself.
That boy is living a good life right now.
He's living his
he's
best
positive
life.
as fuck. But his second comment, his last comment, is Pat was androgynous. Okay, so there you go. She was androgynous.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Pat, we were talking about Pat from SNL.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the word.
But that was keeping the regs with a prune.
Hey, welcome back.
Sugar.
And of course, we have our most frequent commenter. It's time for the Clarissa Clam Jam Power Hour.
Oh, come on and clam, and welcome to the jam. Woo woo, and welcome to the jam.
You just stop commenting just for that. It's like, man, that sounded unhype as fuck.
That was pretty hype.
All right, so she says, her first comment, female comedians talk about female oppression and their vaginas. It's hard to find someone who doesn't. Very much so. Yeah, it's always the same thing. That's why I don't listen to a lot of fat comedians, because fat comedians talk about, oh my God, I hate so much. Like Bruce. Like, until he started branching out with other shit, he was just talking about eating Popeyes all the time. I was like, I'm fucking done with you, Bruce.
Plus, Popeye guard.
It's gone downhill. It slid in my power rankings. But
She's right.
Oh, you know who's a good funny fat comedian? Fucking shit. I wasn't gonna say Godfrey, but Lavelle Crawford.
Lavelle Crawford.
He's alright.
Okay.
That guy was.
That's the your mama jokes, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That was funny. At least that joke. I haven't seen any of his other comedy.
Oh,
But
dude, he's fucking hilarious.
She ain't wrong. Female jokes are just periods and how guys don't treat them right.
yeah. And then like, oh, I'm called a slut because I sleep out. And be like, yeah, you are. But it's a double standard. I'm like, nah, not to me. Men can be sluts too.
Yep.
So that matter.
But they just don't get offended by it.
Exactly.
We get praise. You gotta own your sluttiness without dressing super slutty.
If you want to see I think there's a podcast called Guys We Slept With. It's two just sluts talking about that shit. So episodes of that. So apparently it's funny. I haven't listened to it though. But her next comment: "What the fuck? Did Eric die?" Almost. He left in the part where fuck.
Oh.
I was gonna edit that out, but Eric had broken a chair, fallen.
Oh, it's classic.
And we played it back before the day was done. He's like, you gotta leave it in there.
I told him you had to leave it. That's gold.
And I was like, yo, hit him with a little spooky surprise in the
There you go.
Comedy gold.
Her next comment: "Don't hate. I like Mad TV. You can like it all you want. It's just I don't like it as much as everybody else." And Clarissa, I know what you like. You like that fucking Bon Qui shit, which I didn't think was funny, but you loved it. So I was like, all right, I'll stand it.
She gives me mouth hugs. Yeah, Bon Qui, funny as fuck.
I didn't like Bon Qui, and then there was the other one, the annoying guy, the "Can I have your number?" I didn't think that was funny either, because he was just repeating the same thing over and over. And there's like the rule of 3 in comedy, you know what I mean? And once you break it, it starts getting. And then when you have that segment over and over again, it just gets less and less funny.
See, Swan, Mrs. Swan was the top one.
Stewart. And Coffee Guy too.
Coffee Guy was the
Coffee Guy was not. Don't say he was hilarious. He was not.
He freaked me out.
He freaked you out. That's fine.
The delivery dude.
Just like Bill the Fire Marshal and Living Color always freaked me out.
The UPS one was funny too.
The UPS, the hyper-energetic guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean fucking Samurai Jack?
Jack. Phil Lamar.
But
guy has a pretty good fucking repertoire of voice acting.
He has if you don't know Phil Lamar, go ahead and check out his fucking IMDb. He's constantly. Yeah, I fucked up on that too.
I think his name was Aries.
Aries Spears.
Aries Spears.
Mm-hmm.
He was always funny. You hate.
I guess so. I'm in the minority here, where I didn't like a lot of Matt too.
That's funny. Tony's a minority too.
And her next comment is: "Stranger Things is technically considered sci-fi horror. I honestly think it's got horror because of the suspensefulness."
Fair enough.
So okay. She also says obscene shock humor is for when comedians dry out and are scraping for money.
There you go.
You ain't wrong.
That's why I keep telling Eric, the comedians he likes, they're not funny. They're just obscene and
I will say this, because it sounds like I'm bad-mouthing Clarissa and her humor thing. She did show me Chris D'Elia and that one thing, the drunk chicks like segment of, he has a stand-up, and that's like one of his bits that he does, the drunk chicks. That's really funny. She showed me that, and I laughed my ass off because it was all true. So yeah, she knows some funny. She also says
she told you she loved you. That was the biggest joke.
Yeah, that was a huge joke. I believe it. Her next comment: I was confused when Tony said "stranger than fiction." I was like, the Will Ferrell movie.
There's a Will Ferrell called Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah, it's him and some redhead.
Yeah.
I know it has Emma Thompson.
That's probably the redhead.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think she was a redhead in that movie.
I don't know how to speak no more.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know how to smoke.
Yeah. We know that.
I don't know how to smoke, and I'm really bad with names of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you're around me, you're gonna get like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You get like
it's like talking to your grandpa once Alzheimer's hits.
it's like
playing charades all the time with me.
Tony's like a symbiote. Like he like melds onto you like somewhat, so you understand his speech patterns. You know what I mean? But to like normal people talk.
He was the bell kick.
It became Bushmouth for fucking
hammer home and hammer home.
Someone understands him?
Ever gonna be okay, yeah.
What?
God damn it.
Speaking that fucking jangly bone shit.
I wanted this to be my profession.
Well, you gotta step it up. And her last comment. You all need to see Haunting of House Hill on Netflix.
I heard that show is ridiculously scary. People are going crazy for it.
Well, she says, I'm not super into horror movies or shows, but the story is really good. There is a small amount of jump scares, but they're the really good jump scares. It's more the spookiness behind it.
Yeah, people say it's a messed up thing to watch.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, no, thank you.
All right.
I'd rather watch Tales from the Hood Part 2.
Yeah, I'd rather fucking laugh than cry.
Yeah, but people were saying that the House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, I heard
it's a messed up like thing you should watch, and you'd be super creeped out. There's some people that even stop watching it halfway. It's like, nope, can't handle it. I'm a bitch, so I can't handle it. So I'm not even gonna try. From the Hood.
Clarissa's a bigger man than I, because I cannot handle fucking horror stuff.
Just watch shit when the sun's out.
Yeah, exactly. I can watch anything when the fucking sun's out. Fucking the lights on. I'm eating a sandwich, so I'm not really paying attention.
I blot out all the scary parts with the crunchiness of the chips.
Exactly.
And just right before we watch marathon all the Disney princess movies.
Hell yeah, I'll just fucking.
I'm ready to watch Wreck-It Ralph.
Shit's awesome.
Alright. Thank you, Clarissa, for
Ralph.
And that was the Clarissa Clam Jam Power.
Hey, you, what you gonna do? Hey, you, what
I like you fucking it up. I like that.
Thank you.
I don't mean fucking it up like you fucked it up. I mean like you putting your own spin on it. I like it.
You're doing your thing with it. And, Clarissa, thank you for commenting.
Yes, thank you.
Was that it for all the comments, Roman?
That was it.
Damn, that was actually pretty good then.
That was.
All right.
Thank you, our friends that listen to this. Without you, we wouldn't have anything to comment on.
Tell your friends to, listen to us. This would be the biggest mistake.
Yeah, and if they have, like, apparently our demographic is, like, 12-year-olds. So if you have any friends that have, like, 12-year-old kids,
these kids
go ahead and tell them about it, too.
You know what? Tell that friend of me that you have,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things you're cool but you don't really like about us, would be like,
oh, if you want to be petty AF, you fucking tell them about this podcast.
He's like, hey man, you want to listen to something cool? What? Just listen to this episode.
I listen to this and I'm fucking cool as balls.
Right. We're friends, right? Just tell them all.
Be like, you're not cool. I didn't. You this show sucks. Make jokes on you. I don't even listen to it.
Joke's on you, they gave me 2 cents.
You know what?
Joke's on you, they gave me a dozen tamales and should do that to you, you piece of shit.
Damn.
Secret's out, I hate you.
Bruno Clarissa listen to this podcast like Eric listens to NPR. They just highlights and they're like, we're going to comment
all the negative shit, and when their name comes up, they listen.
They're like, alright, I get to comment.
Hold up, I think these motherfuckers are talking about me.
On that point, you know what? Thank you for listening to the City Podcast. This has been episode 114. I'm your host, Sally, and I'm here with
Roman.
Your boo boy, Eric.
Hate that boy.
I forgot to say F.
How are we gonna get more comments just when we berate the fucking ones that we
man, it comes out of love.
Yeah, exactly. We love our. I actually do love our comments. I do love Prudy.
I like it. It's the best thing of the podcast.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes y'all spark the conversation because we have nothing to talk about before.
It's hard we can do this every week.
You're our Shania Twains, and you give us something to talk about.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do that. You don't impress me much. I was like, Eric, no. Don't you say that shit.
Yeah, she said something good, and you just like,
Give us something to talk about.
There you go. I didn't know that was a fucking Shania Twain
I
song.
don't think it is.
But-
I don't know country.
It's Sheryl Crow.
Like I said,
Anyways,
tell your friends
Fuck
to use
country
those.
is what I say.
like we say at the end of every podcast.
Bye.